Hello, everyone. I'm super excited today. I have with me an incredible woman. She's done so many things in her life and so many feathers to her hat. She's the vice chairman and the managing director of Aureus Investment Private Limited. She's an entrepreneur. She's a accomplished pianist. She's a philanthropist, and she's doing so much for wellness as well. So I'm truly, truly excited to have her on the show and the new episode. So welcome, Priya. It's truly wonderful and an honor to have you with me today on the new episode.
You.
Um, I want to start with Priya. You've been an entrepreneur, you've been an investment banker, and you're doing so many things for as an entrepreneur. You've seen abroad as well as India. So to begin with, I want to know, a little bit on your early life. How did that, what was your journey like? Did you always want to be an entrepreneur, or and also about the working different styles which you faced, when you were in abroad and in India?
Well, I studied in an international school in India at the British school. That time it was a lot of expats, so a lot of foreign children. Now it's a little more Indian. And I went and did my further education in UK. I studied, mathematics. I did a double major in mathematics with business management at UCL. And then I started working as an investment banker in England. I got a job straight away after my summer internship. They hired me. So I did M&A UK Industries for 2 years. Um, and it was a great, platform which I got where I learned a lot.
Mhm.
And investment banking, I'm grueling. They're like 18 hours, 7 days a week. So literally you learn everything on the job. I was invited by my associate and directors of the team to come on meetings and how they close a merger and acquisition. So I was literally doing M&A for UK Industries, and that was a big learning for me. I came back to India and then I started working in my father's business. So entrepreneurship actually is, my father is a first generation entrepreneur. So he started his journey with garment exports. He was studying in New York at FIT. He was working in Henry Bendel's. He was doing visual merchandising and also business of fashion, like how he was, the fundamentals of fashion and business. And he then started the garment export business in India, in New
Okay.
Delhi. And from there, again, he diversified into automotive and he started as another, like an entrepreneurial venture of his own in car dealerships in 1995. So when I came back in like early 2000, 2003 or four, to back to India, I started working with him and I brought all the know-how I learned. And obviously, brought whatever I learned at my investment banking job and brought all those SOPs and systems and processes to his business
Okay.
and made it more streamlined, more, MIS reports, more something more online, more less paperwork.
Okay.
So I did all that. And I started the insurance business for him in automotive.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's my journey. So entrepreneur being an entrepreneur has been in the family. So I've seen my dad,
Right.
and then that's how you
Okay.
get that bug.
Right. In today's time, I'm sure you'll agree with me, spirituality and mental wellness is very important. And
Yeah.
I think that, especially in today's generation also, a lot of people have stress, a lot of people have a lot of problems. But, what according to you, how does spirituality and mental wellness, help people, to reduce that stress, and lead a more meaningful life?
Siddhant, it's a very good question and a very important, uh, point you've made that mental health and spirituality, are very important and they do go hand in hand.
Right.
I've been someone who needed, spirituality to help me through my life journey, and I've been through a lot of ups and downs, challenges. I've been married twice, and any marriage or any divorce is not easy, especially when you have children involved.
Yeah.
So, and the spirituality did help me become stronger, gave me some sort of like, you know, strength, internal strength.
Right.
And mental well-being comes along with it, but you definitely need someone. So within my the spiritual journey, I've had a lot of mentors who I talked to and who would counsel me like someone you would go to a counselor for mental health
Yeah.
or issues that you're struggling with.
Right.
And I do definitely advocate mental health, getting help, speaking to a psychologist or a counselor if you're struggling with issues. And no one comes with, as children, your parents don't come with a handbook of how to bring you up.
Yeah.
I don't come, no one when we become
Yeah.
parents, what's the right way to bring up children.
Yeah.
But the foundational years, matter, and they do creep up on you when you're older, and they come up in different areas in your life at different times.
Right.
And you need to deal with them and get closure. So, yeah. So that's when you need to speak to someone for mental health or use spirituality to help you go to that
You know,
direction.
yeah, what you said is totally correct, because in today's time, I see a lot of people, keep their problems to themselves. They don't voice it out. So I think it's very important today's time to voice out your whatever you're feeling so you don't go into depression or any other kind of disease. So what you said also is completely right. Also, you're a hands-on mom, I want to know, how does one keep up with today's generation? How do you connect with the Gen Zs of today? They have their own ideologies, they have their own way of working, and we've seen times probably when we are instructed by our parents and we need to do what they tell us. But today the equation is totally different. I think it's more like a friend that you
Yeah.
are with your children. So, how do you, what is it that, how do you connect with them in their own language?
It's very important to learn from your own life experiences. When we were growing up, as you said, we would listen to our parents,
Yeah.
and there was no uh, argument, or now children are like use logic, and they
Yeah.
actually like, why should we do this, explain it to us, what's the reason, and you need to be actually explain it to them in a logical way, and explain that this is not good for you, or we know we've seen a lot more of life. And now also the Gen Z are just so much more information coming to
Yeah.
them, and on their phones, on their social media, on the internet, you name it, all the
Yeah.
streaming platforms. They're seeing so much content.
Right.
So they're far more aware, I think more evolved, more mature than what we were. We didn't even have phones growing up. Like, I got my first mobile phone when I was in college, and
Okay.
that was also, very basic.
Right.
BlackBerry was also like a big wow moment for us. So these kids are just like the constant information on their phones. And they know so much more. They're more ahead also in terms of technology. They know everything, I think, far ahead of us. So as parents, we need to keep be in touch with what's happening with AI, what's happening with all the tech. And also, like, when we know their language, we can speak, and with them, and they understand us. And definitely friendship is very important.
Right.
you know um Being at loggerhead with them doesn't work. And these children as I said, are far more evolved
Right.
and know much more. They are actually more like, I think they know more about what the world is, what's happening politically. Like, I see my 18-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and I have a 6-year-old son. And they are the 18-year-old Gen Z kids, they know, I mean, they're very healthy.
Yeah.
I would label it like that. They're working out, they're eating right. They know they have their own, disciplines, and they also go out, go crazy, but and they work very hard. So they some kids have found this amazing balance, and the way to do that for them is to create a really healthy environment at home.
Yeah.
And that healthy environment comes with communication, healthy communication,
Yeah.
to chat with them, to speak with them, open conversation. Never should they feel scared of your parents. I would rather have my child come and speak to me openly first, than me finding out. And that's the kind of dialogue I keep having,
Yeah.
and I trust them. The important factor is trust and respect.
Right.
And if that is shared, a mutual trust, respect, then the communication is easier, the open dialogue is easier, and the Gen Z and are not that rebellious, and they don't argue back, or they're not loggerhead. I mean, that's the way I've knock on wood, I've been, communicating with mm, our children, and we have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
No, I
So
completely agree with you also because I have two daughters myself, and I communicate with them and, in their own language, because in today's time, you cannot dictate them. You just need to speak in their own language and understand. I remember my times we used to get yellings and scolding from our parents if we used to do anything wrong. But in today's
yeah.
time, because of the times being changed and they're so informative, as you said, everything is, so on social media and, people, there are so many kind of things happening. So I think what you said is completely right in terms of communicating, the right kind of communication, with them as a friend. I think that is really important. So truly, truly well said.
Also, I feel like, in our times when, crossing the road was dangerous or talking to strangers are dangerous, the dangerous part now is also on social media because you're talking to strangers,
Yeah,
what they see content. So that also you have to have it like, different ages, you have to kind of protect them from the social media, from the internet,
yeah,
and expose them gradually to that content, not be exposed at such
yeah,
a young age.
right.
So this generation is different, this time is different. uh, पहले बाहर जाके किसी स्ट्रेंजर से बात ना हो तो आप इंटरनेट फोन पे नहीं, you have to be
Yeah,
so
yeah,
careful what they're seeing, and explain it to them, the dangers of it as well as the benefits of it. There
yeah,
are pros and cons.
yeah,
So
of course.
yeah.
Also, I want to know, Priya, I'm sure you've set certain goals and targets for yourself, personally or professionally. So if I see Priya probably 10 years down the line, what are those certain targets or goals which you've set for yourself and what is that you wanting to achieve now?
Well, I'm right now at this stage in my life that I'm like reinventing myself.
Okay.
um I did 10 years of fashion luxury in India with my sister, and we ran stores, and brought all these super fashion luxury brands to the territory of India. And we had a multi-brand store called KH. We had the mono-brand stores. We worked with Marc Jacobs, Moschino, Stella McCartney. So fashion weeks, we did a lot of that. But now I think at this stage in my life, after, having a full family life, for me, I'm at this point where health, wellness, longevity is very important because I have a 6-year-old child. So I want to be an active, involved mother for this little child. Although we also have older children, but the 6-year-old needs that attention. So I need to have that fitness level, both mental and physical is very important.
Mm,
And I'm also interested in, coming from the finance background. So that's always also been a big part of my life when I started in my early 20s.
yeah.
So yes, I want to restart that,
Okay.
um, in the finance or in like the investment markets and
Okay.
explore that part of me. Yeah.
Also, you've been an accomplished pianist, and it's all about music for me, in terms of even when I'm really stressed at work, I put on like nature's music or something to just control my stress levels. So, how
Yeah.
music therapy, whether it's any kind of form of music, because people, I think there's a new trend now. Music has been heard everywhere, all genres of music, and whatever works for you, it works for you. So, what, according to you, would you'd like to say, how important or is music therapy in today's age?
I think music just is very important for me personally.
Yeah,
It heals me. It makes me happy. It makes that little child or that girl inside me feel alive. So for me, all sorts of genres of music. I love jazz. I love classical. I love Bollywood.
yeah,
Um, I love, you name it. Sting, U2, Madonna, Michael Jackson, all genres. So I love music, and piano started at a very young age. I'm not a great pianist.
yeah,
I practice, I still play my piano, and when I play the piano, it's very meditative
yeah,
because you're reading the music and you're playing, and the minute your mind diverts, you play the wrong note. So
yeah,
for me, it's very meditative. I'm like in sync with when I'm playing the piano, and then the music the tune is obviously very healing. And
Yeah.
the vibrations are very important. They say when children are born, listen to Beethoven or Mozart because it helps the brain develop. So if that can happen with children, it can happen at any age. It
Yeah.
can heal you. It can, um, yeah. So the vibrations and the sound of music is definitely healing, powerful, and beautiful to the soul.
Yeah. I'll completely agree also. And also in today's time, I think the me time, which we call it the me time, is very important, just to be by yourself, because you're anyways busy with your family, your work, your social life. But there has to be some sort of time for you, for yourself, during the day to just be by
Yeah.
yourself and, so I think that's also very important in terms of just re-evaluating your entire day and just being by yourself. I think that itself is a healing process. I'm sure you'd agree
Yeah.
to that as well.
For me, my me time is very important. So
Right,
after my yoga, I need to do dhyan for at least good 15-20 minutes.
right,
And that's very important for me because I see my heartbeat goes down. My cardiovascular age is, really strong, like for
right,
my biological age. And that's important. So I see all the benefits of this, me time, alone time.
yeah.
And I'm internalizing. I'm not thinking about anything or about ye karna hai, wo karna, yahan jana. Obviously, those thoughts are
Yeah,
preoccupying our mind all the time. So that is very important, that me time. And also me time just to read a book,
yeah,
relax. Me time is just also just stare into nature and slow living.
yeah,
Um, so when my husband plays polo
yeah,
and we are in the countryside where he's literally there, it's just so peaceful just to be one with nature
right,
and just watch the horses. And also that sport is like you're playing that sport with an animal.
right.
So it's also very scary but beautiful. So
So
yeah.
there's something very common between us because even I come from a legacy of polo players from my grandfather to my great grandfather, my father, and I'm also a horse rider. So it's been
Oh
in the
wow.
industry for a while, and I've seen
Wow.
polo from a very young age myself, and I used to see my dad play. So it's a
Oh, that's
beautiful
amazing.
sport.
Yeah, but once you bond with an animal, even it could be
Yeah,
your pet
it's a
dog
beautiful
or
sport. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so and I want to also know, if people watching us today, if especially the youth of our country, who's the future generation, what is
Yeah.
that one positive message from your side? What are the kind of attributes one must have to be successful? Or we can't measure success, but what are the ways, they can, if they want to pursue any field, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's any field which they have a passion for, what is that one message which you would like to give from your side to them?
I mean, the only message I could give to the youth today is that if you have the passion and you have basically it's passion, hard work, and discipline.
Right,
You have all these three, then all any entrepreneurial, venture of yours or dream of yours, will work and happen. So you have to have these three magic sort of um under your, the passion for your project. You wake up every day, you're passionate about it, the hard work, dedicated work, you have to put in the hours, you have to live, breathe, eat,
yeah.
and discipline. So if you have these three, the world is, you
Yeah.
know,
You can achieve anything. I completely agree what you said. You can just achieve anything if you have that kind of fire inside you, I would say.
yeah.
So yeah.
So
So
these
now
are the
that
three things I would, advise all the youth to believe in and to work with
okay.
to be successful in their entrepreneurial ventures.
So now it comes to a fun round, which is the rapid fire round. These are just quick answers, which to just know you more personally, and what are the things which you like. So I'm going to start with, what is your all-time favorite holiday destination to unwind?
Oh, my holiday, oh, a beach holiday for sure.
Okay. Okay. Your favorite,
Destination, destination, I would say any nice Mediterranean beach with like, where I can just relax and
and
just swim
chill.
in the water. Yeah.
Yeah. What is your favorite cuisine and what, according to you, you cook really well?
I'm a good cook. I cook a lot of things.
Okay.
Uh, but I think my favorite cuisine is Indian, and I
Okay.
cook Indian cuisine very well.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
very proud of it.
Great. What is your current favorite read, which you're enjoying to read? Which kind of book which you're reading lately, which is really inspiring you?
I'm reading The Golden Road by William Dalrymple right now.
Okay.
the Gold Road to India. So it's very inspiring. I've heard his podcast Empire, which motivated me to pick up his new book. It's about India and how India was the superpower and, of the world when it was the superpower. And I think it will become one soon too.
Okay.
So I'm quite intrigued with history and
Okay.
how history is so relevant in today's time as well. So I'm just reading all of about India and um, that book.
Okay. If you were given a superpower for a day, what kind of superpower that would be and why? How would you use it?
Read minds.
Okay. Okay.
Read everyone's mind. Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite music currently, which you keep humming to, which just stresses you, I mean, it doesn't stress you, you are stress free and you can hear it over and you're humming it also all the time. So,
Oh. Um, there's so many.
what's
Humming it
your
all the
favorite?
time.
Which is your current favorite?
My current favorite. I sing, I'm humming. Any song I hear, then I'll start humming that. And
Okay.
then I'm like, I'm humming this constantly. But I think I always like, my father's movie. He did a small, venture, again, an entrepreneurial venture into when he made this movie called Ijazat.
Okay.
So, and the songs in that movie. So always find myself humming the song from that movie. And one of my favorite songs is this one. Um, Mera Kuch Saman Lota Do.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful song, and I find myself humming that all the time. And
Okay.
also Katra Katra Milta Hai, that's also a beautiful song.
Okay.
So I just find myself humming that.
What is that one thing that you've never dared to do and you wanted to try it?
Oh, bungee jumping or jumping from, what's it called? The
Skydiving.
skydiving, yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I want to try it, but I'm so scared to do it.
Okay.
I'm scared
Uh,
of heights.
right. Also, according to you, the one big difference between the millennials and the Gen Zs of today.
I think Gen Zs are definitely live in the moment. They are not tied down to anything. Millennials, I think, are a little more, um, you know, slightly old school.
Yeah.
I would consider myself a millennial, so,
Mm.
um, like, oh, I don't know. We're like more into hoarding, and the Gen Zs are not.
Yeah.
So,
But I think also one thing is, I think I would add patience. I think we had much more patience than what they have today. So, they want quick
mm,
results. They want really quick results in
true,
whatever they do.
true.
So I
Yeah,
think,
yeah. So everything in the moment, and
yeah,
then they
yeah,
move very fast to the next thing, to the next thing.
yeah,
Whereas we're like, no, hold on to it. Let's see
yeah,
how it goes. A little more
exactly.
patient. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they are more risk takers than what we were back in the day. So
yeah, yeah. We're like dead safe.
yeah. Okay. And my last question for you for the rapid fire would be, who's your all-time favorite Hollywood or Bollywood star, probably in the current generation or old school or in the olden times, which you really admire and why?
I have so many, but I would name three. I love Keanu Reeves,
Right.
Johnny Depp, and these are my two favorite. Meryl Streep. I love her. She's amazing. And in Bollywood, I I I I I mean Shashi Kapoor and Amitabh Bachchan. You know.
They are evergreen, they are
Yeah,
evergreen. Yeah.
I also I'm a big fan of Sri Devi. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Mr. Amitabh Bachchan ji, in today's time also he can give a run to everyone for their money. The
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. His
dedication
voice
and
is so
passion.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too powerful. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
And
So,
I loved the Hollywood stars like Keanu Reeves. The Matrix was like a game changer
yeah,
for me.
me too.
Johnny Depp, with the Pirates of the Caribbean and all his other movies like Edward Scissorhands and all those things. So
Yeah,
he was also like a big, he broke like, movie in the sense like he was like a big um trendsetter and a different actor. Also, the traditional Leonardo DiCaprio is there. He's also very good.
Yeah,
But these guys are different, and
right.
they, yeah.
So that comes to the end of the episode. Thank you so much, Priya. It was so lovely chatting with you and sharing insights on your journey. It's truly inspiring, and I'm sure everyone watching us today also would be so inspired by your journey. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time to do this, and wishing you all the best for all your future endeavors. Hope you keep smiling and shining always. And see you on the other
Thank
side.
you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for having me. And I hope I answered and inspired. And
I'm feeling
everyone
inspired
enjoyed
today.
this.
I'm
And
feeling
I think
inspired.
everyone is enjoying this podcast. But thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.